Ninja Steel has problems. Is it worse than Megaforce? I can't decide on that. So as per the rules like last time, I won't be changing or removing characters. I will be working with what the show gives us, focusing on correcting most of the issues I have with Ninja Steel while trying to stick to the show's budget. Little fancy stuff here and there, character pieces, and minor footage changes mainly. Thank you, Anthony Davis65, for the suggestion. If you have one yourself, leave a comment down below. I might pick it one day.
Hide morals better.
Every season and nearly every episode has a moral message. This is a staple of Power Rangers. It's not a bad thing. What's bad is when your morals are right in your face. This has been a pet peeve of mine towards Ninja Steel. One of the Rangers would do something. Say Levi not wanting to play that board game. He just wanted to practice his music. So Mick basically info dumped that he was wrong and you should respect the other Rangers because they invited you to play the game and you brushed them off. I get it, he was kind of rude, but was that the best you could do? Mick is the show's mentor. His purpose is to encourage, but look at Zordon. He was pretty much encrypted. The Rangers would have to figure everything out, sometimes getting themselves almost killed. But that's what he did. Mick pretty much just tells them everything. It didn't start off like that. He was good at first, but it became more obvious. I'm like, this show is not Blue's Clues. I really question what the show's target demographic is now. Also, was it fair to Levi? He has the right to not like board games. Mick just needs to be more subtle, and the character should figure it out by example or just seeing themselves doing something stupid. The worst offender is Preston's dad. He wanted this tree cut down, went insane all through the episode, then because he saw a ribbon he and his wife pinned fall off, did a 180 and didn't want to cut down the tree anymore. It was that simple. This seems to be a problem with recent shows. I'm seeing writers give up or do weird things with properties like Star Wars Resistance and Total Drama-Rama.
Use the school.
Here we go again. Did you not learn from Megaforce? Doing a school setting is not worth it if you're just going for nostalgia points. MMPR and Dino Thunder didn't focus on it much, but they used it for its purpose. Ninja Steel has had so little use of the school, why wasn't their base just the garage? Pull a Mystic Force, pull a Ninja Storm, pull a Time Force, pull Fast and the Furious. I can't even remember their teacher and principal names. All they use is Victor, Monty, and the rec area. This is worse than Mr. Burley. I don't care about Summer Cove at all. You need to have some episodes that take place in the school. Have someone cause a problem. Look at MMPR. Some episodes use the school to create a monster. Blue Ranger Gone Bad was created from art class. I care about Miss Appleby and Mr. Kaplan. They didn't do much, but they were used for good moments. Appleby's best episode was taking Tommy's communicator. Kaplan when his toupee fell on the punch bowl. Victor and Monty need to cause problems for the principal. Use what you have.
Use Dean Marrero.
So the whole point of season 1 was all about finding Brody's brother and the death of his father. So when he comes back from being dead, not to mention as another Red Ranger, he's like, hi, bye in season 2. Why did the show make him a big deal? The only bit of backstory Brody got just tossed away. Dane should have been the mentor. Maybe give him a few episodes of fixing up his house. Teach the Rangers like Solaris Knight. Mick could have easily hung out with his dad. They shared Red Ranger powers. Move into Levi's house for a short time. All this family stuff just wasted. For being a Red Ranger, the writers went out of their way to do nothing with the substance they gave him.
Acclimate Brody.
For being away from Earth as a kid, it was sure easy for him to figure stuff out. If Brody is in high school, I would say 17. 10 years ago would mean 2007. A lot has changed in just those 10 years. He didn't have issues remembering where things were or how he knew what forest he landed in. All the tech that Sarah uses never surprises him. They were on the right track when they had Brody not really care that he was cheating with his communicator, but he didn't do anything else. After episode 4, he pretty much was your average teenager. This could have been used as a character building point. Screws up more. Maybe he acts like a child sometimes. A girl likes him, he doesn't know what to do. Coda acted out of place in Dino Charge, and that came out fine. Brody could have too.
Fix Redbot.
Alright, when you watch The Adventures of Redbot, do you see Alpha 5 or 6 doing something like this? Can you picture Tensu or Circuit being in these episodes? I can't. What was the point of creating Redbot besides Brody's Zord form? You make him do this? Let's come up with an episode that borders on ludicrous. Why did they give Redbot the whole book-selling episode? The plot itself is faulty in so many ways. First, it compromises the Rangers. Redbot is basically giving his thoughts and opinions about them, whether lying or not. That means he's always near them. He works in this school. So why isn't anyone attempting to figure out who the Rangers are? The explanation on how the guy tracked him down was the worst thing the show could do. I tracked you through your IP. Way to go, Redbot, and compromising security. Kendall would eat you alive. That's not even the worst of it. Redbot was treated as any other human. That sounds good, but this is an SPD. No one cared that he was a robot. No one was scared that he was working in the school. The principal didn't have him removed. The problems continue on and on. I don't know what's accepted and not accepted in this universe. There's a difference in accepting teenagers morphing into spandex to people not caring about a random robot that is illegally in the school. If I was writing the episode, I would have had someone break into Redbot's journal, which would have been caused by Sarah leaving his tablet in a fast food place. She had to fix it or something. The Rangers were called away, so someone steals his stuff. Redbot would be the only one who could interface with the person through the internet to stop the book sales. Matrix style, flying through code, kind of give that superhuman samurai vibe. The base isn't compromised and Redbot's the hero. It makes sense to give Redbot a high-tech story, but you can't do things like the adventures of Redbot. I cannot accept this episode existing. Were the writers desperate to reach 20 episodes? I'd rather have him ignored for the rest of the season than see this.
Have Brody being a slave mean something?
This was such a lost opportunity. Brody, Levi, Dane, separated, presumed dead, and turned into a slave for 10 years. All those problems were just ignored. What did Brody go through in those 10 years? How did he feel working with people who he thought killed his dad? This is where Redbot and our Mick would be perfect in creating a story around them. And I'm not asking for some hardcore visuals and dark stuff, but this stuff has to be acknowledged. I always bring up Cole's backstory about his parents. It showed the series could go in that direction without being graphic. It's intense, you know what happens, but it's appropriate for kids. I wanted something like that. Brody just doesn't care. He got off the ship and that's it. He barely has any resentment towards Ripcon. Could we have gotten a few episodes where he loses control? Jen had Jen's Revenge where she went insane on a monster. If I had to work with Brody being blasé living as a slave, I would give some sort of explanation. We have Levi being brainwashed by Madame Odious. Do the same thing. This brainwashing practice erased most of what he went through, including Mick and Redbot. Sarah finds out that Redbot has corrupted memory files. She restores them, and he gives us the flashbacks to what he went through. This could have been a two-parter where Brody directly attacks Ripcon, doing crazy stupid stuff so that Mick can chime in and help him out. These three characters have been with each other for years. Show that friendship. Show Brody is a bigger man and doesn't stoop to Ripcon's level. If he got episodes like this instead of, I'm cheating with my communicator, people would like Brody a lot more.
Do something with Levi's life.
I'm giving credit where credit's due. Levi is original, a famous country music player. It works into the whole Western theme the Ninja did, the secret brother to Brody. All good, but it goes down the drain. If you set up a character like this, there are certain expectations that you have to follow. You can't 1 minute show he's famous, then the next enroll him into school and no one cares. If you didn't want to deal with people screaming and constantly coming up to him, having bodyguards, or having to do concerts, you don't make this character. I would make Levi being a big name to the team's advantage. First, I'd move everyone to a new base location. Now you think that would cost the show money. Not really. I have Mick literally make a duplicate of the garage in Levi's place. Just saying Mick really loved the design. The school sets would be only for school scenes, which is done anyway, so everything would stay the same. Just have the convenience of the Rangers never being caught. Any jokes and stupid nonsense Victor and Monty could do would just be restricted to the school. I'd also have Levi not return to school. He would still be working as a singer. There's just no point in doing that. Have him deal with living two lives, a ranger and a singer, maybe being caught morphing in front of fans, or fans getting captured. He'd have to deal with those issues, use his money to help the Rangers in some way, or even help the town during a crisis. Think Mr. Satan in Dragon Ball Z. Use his fame for positive episodes and negative ones.
Don't make the villain star dumb.
A strong hero needs a strong villain. If the villain is stupid, then you don't see the hero dying or having a problem versing the villain. Now, I'm not saying the villains can't be dumb. You can have them screw up or do funny stuff, but when establishing your villains, they have to show their power. Don't leave them in the background like Galvanax, and don't introduce them like Ripcon. The first time we saw Ripcon, he was info dumping to Brody. Then when he started boasting about Brody not being a real ninja, Brody just steals his sword. So already I know he's an idiot and not a threat. It never got fixed. Even when watching Japanese footage, Ripcon never felt like the bad guy. He turned into a Z-putty. Deal with him and he'll run away. It's the same problem with Elgar had in Turbo, since 99% of the time he was a complete imbecile. When you saw Car Ranger, you really couldn't take him serious. Have your villains funny, but try to keep it contained so that the Rangers are usually dealing with a tough side. Work the comedy into the character a little by little like Season 2 Goldar, but don't cross that point like Season 3 Goldar and Zeltrax. Or do what Ninja Storm did, split the balance between multiple characters. Imagine Goldar being like Ripcon in the first season. Would you be scared for Jason in Green with Evil Part 2? I wouldn't be.
Get rid of cartoon physics.
Well, I had to talk about Victor and Monty in some capacity. As characters, they're fine for Bulk and Skull replacements. You can see the actors have a lot of fun doing these roles. What isn't fun is them turning into Bugs Bunny. Power Rangers is a live-action show. Granted, it has fantastical elements, but real-life rules still apply. So when Victor and Monty are flying through the air using fart gas, I'm sorry, that's not acceptable. It seems the writers are basically doing one-up jokes. They do something stupid in one episode, like stepping on an air tube, so in another episode, Monty has to be shot out of a cannon. Then they start flying away in the sky. It's not funny, and it breaks immersion. But the Power Rangers have fallen from large heights and they're okay. They're the heroes. That makes sense. I expect our heroes to be strong and able to deal with impacts. Remember in the Lightspeed Lost Galaxy team-up, they had to deploy that giant airbag because the Rangers were thrown out of the skyscraper and lost power? They aren't invincible. You get tension from that. Victor and Monty are just Gary Stews in physical injury. If they can survive flying hundreds of feet up in the air, let alone on fart gas, while no one really cares about it, then everyone in this universe can survive falls from hundreds of feet. I stop caring about them. All you have to do is give comedy bits that fit within the episode and have them stick to a level of realism. Did Bulk ever get thrown over the juice bar from falling on a cake? No. He smashed the table, the cake flew up, and landed on him. Instead of flying away on fart gas, build a makeshift hot air balloon and the burner gets stuck on, so they fly away, kind of like Police Academy 4. I know PR has done stupid things before, like Bulk pulling all that food out of his lunchbox, but that's the extent they went, and it was only done once. Ninja Steel just keeps throwing this in your face so you notice it, which leads to my first pick.
Logical consistency.
The number one problem this season has, whether it's Levi going back to school and no one caring, Redbot being talked to like it's nothing, Monty turning into a Minecraft character, Sarah inventing a machine that creates cookies, and the most famous of complaints, Sarah's hoverboard, nothing links up. Take Sarah's hoverboard. Her inventing it is not the problem. Billy and many other geniuses have created things like this. It's the fact that Victor didn't care. It seems not special, which again, that's fine if the universe was set up like that. I'd expect everyone's car to float. I'd expect other people to have hoverboards. These things do not happen. The show is set in 2017 with a team that invented a hoverboard that no one reacts to, all to serve one purpose. The explanation of where the Zoom Zord came from? I've noticed a pattern here. Redbot makes no sense. Sarah's hoverboard makes no sense, and even Haley's dog being allowed into school makes no sense. I'd rather have no explanation of the Zords than this problem. Why does no one care that Preston turned Monty into a block person? It's like, this is all normal. So is magic common? Why is the prison needed to give Preston powers? Why doesn't anyone run away from the lion showing up? Has the world gotten so jaded from 25 years of monster attacks, no one cares about threats anymore? If they were going for that direction, I'd be more accepted of this, but they aren't. Why isn't Preston sent to Area 51, or at least have people scared of him? These are all problems one simple episode causes, and they could have easily fixed them by having Preston erase everyone's memories. So it's fine if Redbot sits around the school rec room and that robots have full human rights. No questions, no nothing. I remember Alpha going outside of the command center during Halloween where no one would question him. That seems to have changed. So then why isn't Redbot outside all the time? He doesn't need to hide. Why isn't anyone going up to him for more Ninja Steel news? He wrote a book. All I want out of this is the show writes stories that make sense. Take the Christmas episode. Santa Claus is real in Power Rangers. That's accepted. At the same time, Santa Claus only shows himself to the Rangers, no other people. Nothing gets ruined. All you had to do with Sarah's hoverboard was to give a few lines of her improving on a store-bought model, have a few cars or things float here and there, Futurama style. That's it. Ninja Steel had good building blocks. The characters are satisfying, they're different from most seasons, having the game show part is engaging, twists in places, but it stopped short of the finish line. It felt like the writers were mixing a new batch of chocolate, and when they got to the production line, they ran out of ingredients, so they switched back to dried Megaforce candy. What do you hate about Ninja Steel? Did I miss a few things? Do you agree with my suggestions? It's just, I'm at that point of not even caring. PR has been bad so many years in a row, I just want to mark off new season as bad. The writers don't care, why should I? The only reason why I haven't given up is because Hasbro. But if the 2 years of Beast Morphers ends up being the same, I'll just binge watch every 2 years. I'm just not going to waste my time anymore. New episodes every Monday. Next week, the bad things about MMPR reversioned.